guys, today I thought that we would just have like a cozy little chat about moving to London. My name is Katie and I just moved to London in October. This is not my first rodeo moving to new cities, and there's like so many videos you can watch about my life, but basically last 5 years I moved cities 3 times at least. Had to start over, make friends, do the whole thing. I will link other videos that I've done where I talk about this sort of topic, but today we're gonna specifically talk about moving to a bigger city, sort of the things that you can do to optimize the move. I have often heard people say this. Also, subscribe if you would like to, because that would be cool. And give this video a like and comment about how beautiful I look. Just kidding. No, actually, you could do that if you wanted to. I don't know, I'm not against a compliment. But if you're gonna write that I'm ugly, please don't. Bullying's bad. Yeah, that was my anti-bullying PSA. Thank you very much. So I moved to London alone. 2 years ago I moved to Edinburgh alone, and then I moved to Charleston alone 2 different times. That's a long story. Go look at the other videos for an explanation. But basically all of that to say is that I feel like I am an okay person to give advice about this kind of stuff, because like I'm quite an introverted person. So I feel like no matter the type of person you are, this advice is really kind of applicable and it can open doors for you. Like, who's screaming? Oh my God. Yeah, but I also like, there's something about like my 20s, like I have actually, it's hard moving cities, but it's also like one of the most exciting and fun new times in your life. And the older I get, I wonder if I'll do that again, because like it was all sort of like planned out for me that this was gonna be my life for a couple of years. And as tumultuous as it was, like I really look back fondly on that time, and like I just learned so much about myself. There were really difficult times in being away from family and trying to establish yourself, especially if you only have a year in a place. That's a really weird situation to be in. I guess just like it taught me a lot about like making the most of a situation and making the most of like the people around you, and sort of practicing like I've practiced moving a lot. So I feel like these are good tips, and I'm gonna tell you what they are, I promise. Number 1 is that I wrote that everyone is different. So obviously I've already told you guys like I'm an introvert, but like if you're a more extroverted person, like some of this advice might be a little bit different for you, and that's completely fine. It's okay to be an extrovert, I'm just kidding. No, but like, do you ever see those videos where it's like how to talk to people, how to do all these things, and then it's like the opposite for like extroverts is like how to shut up. Sorry, I can say that because a lot of my friends are extroverts. Sometimes you guys like do need to shut up, and someone had to say it. But yeah, everybody's different, and what you need out of a place or how you fit into a place is gonna be so different. So like Charleston, I absolutely loved my time living there. Like it's such a beautiful city. I have so much love for that city, but I found it really difficult to live there. Like in terms of like people and meeting people, I just had that like certain je ne sais quoi that people were like, that girl's weird. And sometimes that happens. But then sometimes you move to a place, like when I moved to Edinburgh, when I moved to London, and it was just, these were places that just sort of like really clicked for me, and it felt very easy. Keep that in mind wherever you're going, and try to find the joy in both scenarios, because there are so many things about Charleston like I absolutely loved living there. And like once I had made some of like the best friends I'll ever have in that city because it wasn't easy, if that makes any sense. So if you're currently in that situation, like just keep trudging along and know that every single person who is moving is going to be completely different than you, and you're going to handle it differently. You are going to react to things differently, and that is completely normal. It's completely normal. You're a normal person, probably. I don't know you. Maybe you're not. I'm just kidding. Number 2 is get involved. So especially living in a big city like London, when you first get here, one of my biggest advices is to live with like a lot of people. So I currently have 5 roommates, and I think that this is one of the best logistical decisions that I have actually made. And you're probably sitting here thinking like, Katie, but you're an introvert, that sounds terrible to you. You know what? It did, but I was like, before I was moving here, I would like tell my mom and like my dad this, and they would be like, but like, what if you didn't live with 5 people? And I was like, no, I have to. Like, you don't understand. Like, this is what's going to save me. Like, I had that little voice in my head where I was like, this is gonna be good. And I'm glad that I listened to that voice because yes, that was a crazy thing for me to say. However, it has worked out immensely for me. I've had a lot of like really rough roommates in the past. Like I understand why this was a concern. For some reason, this time around, it really has worked out. And I will say as an introvert, there is something so wonderful about living in a house with like this many people because you can kind of like Irish exit whenever you want to. Whereas like if I need like some introvert time where I'm just like, I need to not speak to anybody for a bit, I can just leave the room. And I don't think it's super noticeable. However, if I lived with one person, that would be very noticeable. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, you get it. So getting involved, yeah. So that can be living in a big house, but then that also looks like joining clubs, joining like Facebook groups. There's so many like meetups in London of random people and you just like get together and you like go to the movies together or you go to an art gallery or you play a sport or you like I'm in a book club. That is just sort of how you start building your network and like network. Oh my God, I sound like such a 24-year-old. Jesus Christ. Welcome events. If you're going to a university or you're starting a new job and someone's like, hey, we're all going for drinks, go. Do not, I'm looking at you right now. You have to go. That's the rule. If someone invites you to go do something, and this is actually a later tip, so I'm jumping the gun, but you say yes. You have to say yes. Oh, this is actually, okay, this is number 3, is that you should say yes to anything for 3 months. That is my best advice. You may be like, oh, I won't like those people at that event. You might not. Knowing me, there were a lot of things I went to where I was like, I don't know, but I went anyway. And you know what? Did I die? No. Did I have some fun? Yeah, whatever. It's all good. I had a new experience. I probably met a couple people. I got into the practice of talking to strangers. I don't know if this is helpful. No, but like, I swear to God, this is actually like good advice. Like you should really, it's just like a random person is like, hey, not like from the street. Like, I don't know, from like a class or like from work or who you live with. They're like, hey, let's go do this thing. Like, just go do it and have a good attitude. And that's how most things in life get started. It's just a domino effect. And the more chaotic your life is at the beginning, the more that I think it sort of rolls itself out into order. No, that's actually exactly what I was trying to say. I have a problem with that. I really have a problem with like trying to explain myself. Number 4 is don't expect to have everything figured out. I mean, I don't think that you clicked on this video being like, I expect to have it all figured out. You clearly clicked on this video because you were like, I actually maybe need some help. And you know what? This is probably terrible advice. Oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna edit this back and just be like, what was I saying? Are those words coming out of my mouth? I'm not sure. Especially if you're moving to a new country, this one is so applicable. Getting set up in a new country is so much worse than getting set up in your home country because there are just so many things where I'm just like, oh, I'll get to that. Like I had an eye infection the other day and like I have lived in this country for like a really long time. Like I lived in Scotland for a year. Like I should figure out how to get a GP. I should figure out how to get a doctor. Have I registered for one? Absolutely not. No, why? I don't know, I have other things to do. But then I got an eye infection and I was like, well, what the heck am I gonna do? So then I had to figure it out. Oh, that was very loud. Oh, I have assessment feedback. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna check that in a minute. Hopefully I did well. Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm moving to a new city, figuring out public transit. I got lost so much. I got lost so badly. I got lost so frequently and so horribly in London the first 2 months I was here. It was honestly laughable. And you have to laugh or else you'll cry. Because like one night I was literally on a bus because there was like a tube strike, I think. So then I ended up in like Putney, but I had never been to Putney and I was like, what the heck is Putney? And then I was like trying to get to Richmond because that's where I was staying with a family friend. And it took me literally 2.5 hours to get home. And then my phone died. And I was lost in the dark in Richmond looking for this house that I was staying at. And then thankfully, because the stars aligned, the lady I was staying with, like, my phone was fully dead. Like, I was like, I'm gonna wander around this neighborhood for hours. She pulled up around the corner and was like, hey, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh my God. Literally saved by the bell. That could have been so bad. And you know what? You have to have a good attitude about that. And also get a portable charger. My mother was right, as always. And yeah, you might be overwhelmed. There are so many things in conversation that you're gonna get wrong. Like, oh my God, it's even so hard now. Like sometimes I like find myself saying things or like listening to things and I'm like, wait, what? Like if I actually voiced how many times that I was confused in a day, that would be the only thing that would come out of my mouth is what? And like I ask people literally all the time. I'm like, huh? What did you just say? What does that mean? All the time. But if I did it as much as I actually was thinking it, it would never stop. It would never stop. Oh my God, and then just like finding things in the stores. Good Lord. Finding things in another country, like you just become like so blind. You're just like, why would they set it up like this? Like why would they put the dairy separate from this? Like it's just like so many things that you're just like, why would they do that? And then number 5 is gonna be build healthy habits. So I did tell you to live chaotically for 3 months. However, still take care of yourself. I always say this. For me, moving here, like I used to be like a big gym person. When I moved here, that was not happening. That was not on the list of priorities. So like that might happen at a later date, but like at this current moment in time, like I am just trying to like sleep enough and like eat and make friends and listing out those priorities of being like, is this like, and I still go for walks and I get outside and I do all that kind of stuff, but I'm like, there are just certain things that like might actually have to get dropped from the list. That's okay. You're just one person. You're just a girl or a guy. You're just a guy. You're just a girl. It's fine. Oh, this is a good one. Don't shame yourself for your mistakes. I make so many mistakes, and if you feel bad about them, you can't do that. I'm just telling you right now, like you can't feel bad because you're gonna keep doing it. Like I'm not talking about like deliberately hurting other people. I'm talking about like doing like a faux pas on accident. You don't know. I'm trying to think of examples. I know that when I wrote this video ideas, I had an example, and it was probably because I made a shameful mistake that day. The grind in London is real. The commuting and the being around tons of people, it really can be overwhelming, and especially if you're moving to a new city or a new country, like just like cut yourself some slack. Like whatever you're going through, like just take that extra hour of sleep. Take that. That's always my answer. I'm just like, I should sleep more. I should go to sleep. I just think that's the answer to most things, is just to go to sleep. I think Dakota Johnson, didn't she come out and she was like, I sleep like 15 hours a day or something like that. Like that's probably how much sleep I would need, because I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl living in this world and forced to go to school, forced to do stuff when I really should just be asleep. I should just be asleep. And the last one is just like make time for the people you left behind. Obviously during those first 3 months, I think that, and I've always said this, is like prioritize your life in person, because like having real in-person interactions is really important. But making time for like your best friends, like if you're just calling them really quick or you're just saying hello, like I usually dedicate either a Saturday or a Sunday to calling people from home. That just makes me feel so much better. It connects me with home and the people that I love, and sometimes it can make me a little sad. That's just like kind of a trade-off you get when you move to a new place or you move to a new country or city. It's just you're leaving something behind to gain something else, and making time for those people is gonna be really important. Cutting yourself some slack. Like I remember I was like having a conversation with my dad about this, where I was just like kind of busy and overwhelmed, and like I just sort of realized like how much I've actually done with my life since October, and like I've moved to another country, and like I think I was like maybe getting down on myself about like not going to the gym, but then I was just like, wait a second, I moved to England. That's fine. I've done enough. You know what I mean? Like let yourself know when you've done enough. Like it's okay. You're doing your best. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you would like to subscribe. If you like my sweater, it's from Cezanne. I'll put a link down below. If you want to get accommodation, check out my link with Amber Students. If you need a place to live, pretty much in London, look there, or another country, or the US too, actually. Yeah, those are my plugs. Thanks for watching. Okay, Lisa says to have fun. Goodbye. If anyone's curious, I did really well in my essay. Sorry, my lighting's turned off. That's why I look like this. And study. You should study. That's my 7th piece of advice. Do your work, son. I'm sorry, I've been watching too much New Girl.